Are you guys watching the response to cold plunging and infrared and stuff like that right now?
No, is there like a big counter movement?
Yeah, there's a big counter movement right now. So now if I post something, it's so funny because we've been talking about this for so long now.
Yeah.
But now I did a post yesterday of me getting ready to do the plunge, and I was doing the red light, and like now I get at least a couple people that almost always, that's the science that's debunked, or
it's because it's actually gaining market share now. I think
it is. Isn't that funny? It was like something that again, like when you think about like cold plunging and stuff like that, these are some things that have been in practices.
Go disprove Wim Hof.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Yeah.
No.
I just and again,
Now,
they'll try and point to a study that is measuring something very basic and simple in a short period of time.
And, it can get oversold. Once something becomes marketable and sold, then they'll sell fasting, for example, as the greatest way to burn body fat, and it's different than cutting calories.
Listen, you'll never hear one of us on the show talk about replacing exercise, good nutrition, good sleep, good relationship. I mean, when you look at the hierarchy of things to do and focus on to move the needle in your journey of health, you'll never hear us say that this trumps that.
Cold plunging gets you jacked.
Yeah, to think that it doesn't come with tremendous benefits is hilarious to me now, and it's becoming kind of this movement to counter it.
You know what it is? First off, because we've been doing this for so long, exercise, sleep, diet, stress, lifestyle, those things are just there. There's nothing that'll trump those. I always find it cool when something else can cause benefits that isn't in that category. Like there's a non-dietary intervention, a non-exercise intervention, a non-improve your sleep intervention, right? That actually moves the needle to a point where we can measure it for things like recovery, muscle growth, performance, that kind of stuff. I find that fascinating, and I'm going to talk about it.
Well, I find it also fascinating too when you see, because when we talk about things like fasting, or I talk about cold plunge, it's actually the benefits that I talk about are less to do with the benefits that it's being sold as a lot of times.
Yeah.
So that's when I get interested, is like, oh wow, there's this thing that's some sort of an intervention or outside the big rocks and that has shown value towards building muscle or losing body fat or overall health. And then it also has these other positive benefits. That's when I get excited. Then I'm like, oh, this is cool. This is like a small 4-minute practice I can add 3 times a week into my life. And it has multiple different benefits that are, I mean, to me, that's awesome.
I feel like some of the biggest benefits of things like cold plunge are the immediate energy boost. It's literally like drinking a cup of coffee. It's amazing. So I don't know anything that can give me that kind of energy other than a stimulant. And the second thing that I could see the value in is it can definitely improve your tolerance to cold. Just like the sauna,
I'm going to add to that,
improves your tolerance to heat.
Yeah. I mean,
and then immune system.
Immune system, 100% for sure. The difference in that, I've seen a big difference. Also, too, how you handle day-to-day normal stress. I think we've talked about before. Although we haven't had a breathing expert on here, right? That's talked all about like breath work and stuff like that. I mean, Wim Hof a little bit, right?
Yeah, no one else. I don't think.
We didn't go deep on that.
No,
but a lot of us don't even realize how we do this like shallow breathing all day long.
That was the biggest benefit for me,
right? And in order to do that, you can't do that. And let me tell you, part of why it's so difficult for so many people is to get into to control deep breaths inside.
Right. And for somebody that's not super esoteric in terms of like being able to sit still and like, have that meditative moment where it's like, I'm going to breathe and I'm going to get to this transcendent place. And, I can't like, just like, I have to fight it like that. It forces me to actually get into that calmness in that place where I'm actually like, I'm faced with the fact that this is going to completely smash me if I don't like succumb to it.
And that's not something that everyone's touting the studies around.
Nobody's selling that.
Yeah, no one's selling that, but what a tremendous value. If you recognize that already.
They don't sell it because it's not fat loss, muscle building.
I know, right. But that's what's so funny to me is that there's always this like counter, then they're going to attach it to some 6-week study and be like, oh, look, when you actually compare that to, eating this, or you increase your protein by 10 grams and you'll get just as much of recovery benefits as it's like, and you try and throw it out for that one reason. And
Dude,
it's
you
like,
talk about people suffering from anxiety, depression, and all these things going on mentally right now. Like, this is a great like answer for people like me specifically, who just like bury a lot of those feelings and just push it down and brace, and like you feel like you can just like hit every obstacle with just like, you know, just bearing down. Like, when that stops working for you, what do you do?
Yeah.
You know, like, this is like an answer.
I remember when I first learned about like the importance of breathing, because I know that what happens to you or how you feel will affect your breathing. So like if you get scared, you breathe differently than if you relax. But also the way you breathe sends a signal to the brain and the body that tells you you can relax or you can get heightened. Okay, so it's a two-way street. I remember when I first learned about belly breathing, I had this amazing wellness expert in my studio who I would see do this with clients, and I could see the clients be like, oh my God, this is so phenomenal, whatever. So I had her teach me. I went through it and I was like, wow, this is really remarkable. So then I did it on some clients and I was not prepared. I was not prepared for what would happen.
the emotions and
They
stuff.
cried.
Yeah.
The first woman I had her lady, she was all stressed out, and I was always trying to help her with that. And I said, hey, we're gonna try something different. We went into this front room that was kind of open but dark, so it was quiet. I laid her down and I had her practice belly breathing. And then she started crying.
Yeah.
And I was like, I was like looking up, like looking for the other person. What do I do right now? And she said, oh my God, that was so relieving. Like I let out some emotions I didn't know I was storing. And then it happened again with another client. I was like, okay, this is crazy.
This is
so
why
rare.
I think it's actually the reason why it's gaining so much traction is, you know, of course there are things get trendy and there is that percentage of that. But I don't think it would move and get as popular as fast as it is if it wasn't making huge impacts in people's lives, impacts to where they feel it and see it. It's like, I don't need to sit here and argue studies with you. Go do it. Go do it for a month and then report back to me and tell me you don't recognize the difference.
Naturally, you know, the things that like get the most resistance are the ones that are hard, right? Like compound lifts, like, you know, there's always going to be this like
Is there a pill?
excess of studies that all of a sudden pop up because it's like, you know, like everybody's doing it, sees massive value, but the people that like don't want to do it because like, it's hard, you know, it's like, why should I even do that? It's stupid.
That's 100%.
They're gonna.
You know, that's actually, I think Joe Rogan said, like, he was asked about his routine because he cold plunges every morning. And there is something too about the mental aspect of overcoming. I'm consistently doing this.
You never want to do it.
I never wanted to. I've yet to go.
Dude,
like,
it never gets easy.
yeah, it never gets. It's like every time I do it, it's like I have to like convince myself. It's I go, and there's something to be said about starting your day off with something hard like that you have to overcome. That's difficult.
Yeah.
And setting the tone for the day. Because honestly, a lot of other decisions throughout the rest of my day are much easier decisions than that one. That one happens to be one of the harder decisions I have to make in the
Get
day.
down to your underwear and jump in this freezing bath.
Yeah, right. And stay there.
Yeah,
It's like
in the morning.
yeah, it's and so I mean, again, how do I measure that and explain that through a study? It's really difficult to do that without just telling somebody, hey, go implement it into your life for a while and then report back and tell me if you've seen benefits from it. And I guarantee you will.